welcome everyone to another edition of our Halftime Chat R&B Podcast. Hopefully, guys are coming on in with myself, Stevie Street, and Miss J. How are the two of you doing?
Well,
Wishing you all a good evening.
Wishing everyone a good evening. A good evening. Yes. Okay. I thought the three of us were wearing glasses, but then I just turned around and like magic, it doesn't seem to be the case. How have you been, Miss J?
they'll be back. You know,
They'll be
on
back.
again, off again, on again, switching pairs. So,
Okay.
how are you guys?
Yes. Well, I mean, first of all, I support a team called Liverpool in English football, and they have just become the most successful team in English football, winning their 20th title. So we're all celebrating. So I'm wearing the jersey today as a sign of appreciation for my team. So it's been a great day. And yes, music news just before we kick off and talk about this album. Anyone have any music news to share with the community?
I do have something, but it's on a very, very sad note, and I've just found the CD here. Very, very sad for the true hardcore New Jackers who know all about this album. Stevie Detroit Red sadly passed away. He was, I think, over the weekend yesterday. His son put a Facebook post out saying that his father had been very ill for the last couple of years and passed away. It's this guy here. This guy, because that's Zeno and that's Stevie Red. But
From what group is that?
Sorry,
what group were they? Was it
Mind? They were called Mind, and this album was
Mind,
produced by Gene Griffin and Mucho.
Yeah, it was a really good album. Yeah, it did. Yeah, really.
So a sad passing of a true unsung New Jack hero to us. So condolences to the friends and family and everyone concerned, but he won't be forgotten. He won't be forgotten, especially on this podcast. So there you go.
All right. Any music news for you, Miss J?
No, not that I can think of right now.
I'll tell you what was interesting. Tiwa Savage, the Nigerian Afrobeats superstar, doing an R&B track sampling Tamia. I'm So Into You. I found that rather interesting. Just interesting how Afrobeats in general, the direction it seems to be heading, which is it's been stuck in Amapiano for the last few years, but it seems to be going the R&B wise, because R&B is on a bit of a very slow revival at the moment. They were saying it was dead a few years ago, but it was never dead. It was never dead.
Yeah, maybe she's taking something from Burna Boy when he started sampling some of those.
Yeah. That formula's kind of working. Take a well-known R&B hook, add a sprinkle of Afro beats in it, and it seems to be a winning formula at the moment.
That's actually true. Yeah, I think so.
I'm just messing around with my CDs at the moment. I'm just sorry being distracted, but I was just trying to find that. I found it now, just to, but yeah.
Okay.
There's been a lot of R&B out though this weekend. Coco Jones album. There's been a lot, but this is not the podcast to talk about it all, I guess, really, is it?
Yeah, I mean, no,
but
I
we could be talking about Nnamdi's that huge event that's happening at the end of June in New Jersey.
Oh,
which has blown me away and blown a lot of other people away.
Which one is that?
Have you seen it? The gig that's happening in New Jersey in June 28th. We've got it looks like about 40 hip hop artists on, including Eric B and Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and Too Short, Scarface. We got the original, and then we've got the Uptown Records review, the Uptown label, all the artists from Uptown Records performing. So we'll have to talk about it on another podcast, though.
Yes. Okay. We've got the legendary Miss Jackie McGee.
Hello.
just joined us. How you doing?
Hey guys.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Miss J. How are you, honey?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Fighting with my allergies. That's why I got my glasses on because I look nuts. Oh
Yeah.
my God. I look crazy. Hey, Nnamdi. Hey, Stevie.
Hello.
I'm not used to you not being in your car, so this is
I
a
know
first.
this is weird, right? This is weird. It's like I'm home.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not.
Okay. No, we were just going just before we started the show. We were just going through some of any music news that okay. We're just going through some music news and seeing what's going on. Let me see now.
What's going on in the hoods, right?
Yes.
I call the music industry the hood now.
You must have heard about this Eddie F event that's happening at the end of June, Jackie. The Eddie F thing that's happening in Newark.
I did. I just saw it. I just saw that, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta hit Eddie up because I want to go." But
I mean, to perform or just show up?
Nah, probably just to show up. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna go perform. I would go perform.
Well, I am planning if I can pull it off a week in New York, so maybe we could meet up, Jackie.
Oh yeah, you coming to the NY?
Oh, but I'm gonna definitely do everything I can to make that.
Oh my gosh, I know that's gonna be bananas. It's gonna be crazy. I'm like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I gotta. But you know, Father MC and them are doing in Baltimore, not past the mic, but they're doing what is it, Club Quarantine. I just talked to Father MC about it, and he was like, "You coming?" Because it's in Baltimore, so that's like 62 miles from me. So hell yeah, I'm going. I'm coming, and I'm crashing.
I'll be sure. Christopher Williams, Manifa, Soul for Real. You, Father MC. I hope they bring out Jodeci. They might bring out Guy out. It might just happen. Fingers crossed. They said there's some more to be listed, so we'll see.
Know. Aaron might not be singing lead. That's my boy, but I'm like, Aaron, where are you? Where are you? Mm-hmm.
They've only got to jump on stage for a couple of tracks, haven't they? And the place will go absolutely wild.
Bananas. It's true. Yeah. It's true. No, that's gonna be fire. That's gonna be fire.
Yeah. Okay.
And the ticket prices are quite reasonable, actually. Starting at $77 to get top tier, and then to get a really good seat, I think it's over $400 for the real front seats.
That's not bad.
And the seats behind them are like $200, which is good as well. So
yeah, that's not bad at all. That's not bad. I pay more for K-pop damn tickets for my daughter, and that's ridiculous.
Wow. Yes. Okay. There seems to be somehow the stream on the stream on Halftime Chat isn't going through. So I'm just as you guys continue talking, I'm just trying to sort that out. I'm just trying to sort that out to understand why it's not going through, because most of the people who tend to watch are waiting to connect, and I'm not sure why
it's not connecting.
It doesn't seem to be connecting. Do
you need to go off and come back on?
I don't think so. I just probably just need to just re-edit a few things, because it's streaming on a different channel, but I noticed that a lot of people are still waiting for it to start, and I'm not sure why that is the case. So but yes, if we keep talking, because it is showing that it is
Was the thing spinning?
No, it looks like it started on Halftime Chat now. There's 5 watching. Yeah, I'm going on my mobile here. Yeah, it started.
Yeah. Okay, it's gone through now. It's gone through now. Thank God for that. Yeah, it's gone through now. Yeah, because I had to just make some changes, because the majority of people tend to watch on Halftime Chat, but it wasn't working. So yes, okay. We want to welcome everyone, especially those who are joining from who just connected. It was my mistake just trying to get this song sorted out. But you've got myself, Stevie Street, and Miss J. I think I've had to almost restart it using a different link. But anyway, we're live. Nonetheless. Hey, Tanya, Emily, Timmy Lee, Hassan, welcome. Mac. So yeah, sorry guys, that
See, the regular listeners are coming through now. They're coming through.
Yeah,
Right.
there was some stuff happening which I was just like wondering what was going on. But anyway, tonight we are reviewing a special album. Now it's a special album for me because without doubt it is my all-time favorite album. And that might seem like a far-fetched, but it definitely is. And it's even great the fact that you're here, Jackie, because you were there when this all kicked off, when everything started. You were part of this whole thing. So imagine just being able to hear some of the stories about this whole album and this process. What makes this album special for me, that it's just 8 tracks. Now, I know back in the day, they probably were limited to doing 8 tracks, but they didn't realize maybe 10, 20, 30 years later that is what would make these types of albums special. What do you remember, Jackie, about making this album, or even the whole process?
Well, when I came in, I think I was telling you before, Nnamdi, that I met Keith in the club. I was singing with one of the local groups that, they all know each other. Everybody knows each other. And my father-in-law, Keith was in his band, Jamila. So I had already, been working with Teddy because we had a band. Me and Teddy been knowing each other, since we were like 19. We started when we were 19 together. And we had our band, so we were doing the local stuff. But then I met Keith when I was singing with another band, because Teddy and I and the rest of the band, we kind of all parted ways to go do other stuff. And, Teddy started getting busy or whatever, but we still didn't know what he was doing exactly. So when I met Keith, he was like, oh, yeah, I'm working on a record. I want you to come to the studio. So I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And, I wasn't paying him no attention. So maybe 3.5 weeks went by when he kept calling me. And back then we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have beepers, no nothing. It's call on the telephone. Either you gonna pick it up or you ain't. So I picked it up a couple of times and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna come, but I never did. And then finally, the last time he called me, I was like, well, I'm gonna come to the studio. So I get there. When I get there, Teddy's there. And I'm like, what you doing here? And he's like, what you doing here? And Keith is like, y'all know each other? And of course we know each other. We had a band. Like, so that's how, our link started. Like, that's where we all connected. The first song that we did was Don't Stop Your Love. Now, in the studio, was it crazy times? The times that I was in there, all fun and jokes, clowning all the time, just all the time. Keith had jokes, Teddy had jokes. You got 2 really, really great writers and producers, but then you have a young guy that has this new crazy sound, and he's a beast with it. So everything he played, it was like, what the F is that? You know, like you really had to cuss when you heard it, like for real. It was like, what the fuck is that? Because the beats was so crazy. And excuse my French, but the beats were so crazy. It was like, oh my gosh. You knew every song that you heard would be a hit. Because it just went through your body. The two of them together, to me, that was probably one of the best produced teamwork albums of R&B. And I'm being serious about that, because you had Teddy that was, you know, with what they named New Jack Swing. And then you had Keith that brought his element to what he and Teddy both had, and then made magic. And that magic opened up a whole door for all of this new music to come. So of course, everything started exploding after that. But back to, you know, working in the studio, I did Don't Stop Your Love first. And even when I heard Don't Stop Your Love, I'm like, what is that? Because, you know, Teddy's doing full quarter, he's doing any and everything he could do. And I'm used to him doing this stuff because we had a band. So I'm like, Teddy's crazy. You know, he gonna do what he do. But the tracks, you know, if he didn't play, because like Fred McFarlane did some stuff too, did a couple of keyboard, you know, programmings and wrote some stuff. I can't remember which song.
Don't Stop Your Love.
It was just the fact that when I came in to do Don't Stop Your Love, Teddy had put something on it. It was some stank on it. That's all I can say. He came in and put, I think he did some drum programming to it. Do you have the
Yeah, they said additional keyboards. They said he did some additional keyboards, that it was Fred and Keith that started the track with yourself and George Hallinger.
Oh, Hallinger
doing backing vocals.
Yeah, George was in the group. He was in Jamila, the group that Keith was in. Great guy. I know George. He passed away about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago now. Great man. Oh my God, great guy. So going back to Don't Stop Your Love, Fred wasn't there when I was there, so I didn't know if Teddy did it or Fred did it. I just know that when I came, I remember Teddy doing some keyboard parts. And I knew Fred had something to do with, you know, one of the songs. I just didn't know which one. So it was Don't Stop Your Love. Don't Stop Your Love definitely had that thing on it. But when I heard I Wanna, forget it. It was out of here. I was like, that's just retarded. That don't make sense. You know, none of that made sense. But go ahead. You can.
Yeah. No, I was going to say we're going to go through the songs, but I just wanted to greet some of the people who've just shown up. Baseline G, Rock City, Hot Boy, Bam, Melodic, Derek from all the way from St. Paul, Minneapolis, Sheila E, first time here. Emily, yep, you're here. So Rascal 78.
Sheila E. Nnamdi. Is that the Miss Sheila E?
I wonder if she brought her drum kits. If she brought her drum kits with her. And Emily Guzman, yes. I just wanted to just welcome everyone that came across. So we don't want Jackie to go give us too many rough diamonds at all at once, because she was all over this album and stuff like that. But Stevie, I mean, what are your thoughts when you first heard this album?
I didn't hear the album in 1987. I got the album once I went on my Teddy Riley discovery. So I probably got this album about 1990.
What? Wow.
Yeah, because I'd heard I Want Her. Had heard that record because it was a minor chart hit in the UK. And I didn't know what to make of it. Couldn't work out whether I liked it or not, believe it or not. But it wasn't until I got the album and I first played the album and, you know, I was just blown away. like everybody else, just literally blown away by it. I do remember having discussions in debates in the record shop on a Saturday morning where all these import records were coming in. There was like with Mary J, there was a divide about Keith Sweat and his voice. It was like Marmite, you're either into his vocal or you wasn't. Same with Mary J, but what won people over is that, especially on this album, he just put his heart and some of these tracks, he puts his heart and soul on the line, doesn't he? You can really, really feel what he's singing. But like I say, it's whether you was into that nasally, you know, he's a nasally singer. And that's what came out the New Jack era. There was a lot of copycats who would sing through the nose, like male vocal, just sing through the nose. And some of the more mature, older soul community couldn't get their heads around that because they'd been brought up on Marvin Gaye and Johnny Hathaway and Luther Vandross and Freddie Jackson. So someone like Keith Sweat coming along, it's like, who's this guy with his sweat, with his knitted sweat? Who is this guy? But, what an amazing album. Incredible album.
Yeah.
I will say though that that Don't Stop Your Love. No, we'll get to it. But I thought that
we'll get for the
Fred
song.
McFarlane. But we'll get to it.
We'll get through it. But Jackie, what was before I get to you, Miss J? What was your thoughts about how Keith sounded? Because he says that Teddy made him sing this way, but that wasn't very unusual for what as Stevie says, the male singers during that time.
So I'm gonna be 100% honest. When I first heard Keith sing, I was like, "What? Oh my God!" I was like, "What? Oh my gosh!
Oh dear!
What the hell am I gonna do with this?" I was like, "What did I get myself into?" And it wasn't that Keith was a bad singer. You know, to be honest, I felt that Keith sounded a lot like Steve Arrington that did, walking down the street, watching ladies go by, watching you. You know, he had that, yeah, baby. Like he had that whiny thing on his voice too. So that's who Keith reminded me of. I was, I don't know if I thought he was going to be like a crooner or not, because I didn't know Keith. So I didn't know his voice. He was just like, "I want you to come to the studio." So when I heard his voice, it wasn't a thing that it was like, "Oh, yuck." But it was like, well, wait a minute. Wait. How is this voice going to rock on tracks, on these tracks? Like, what the hell? Okay. and I left it at that. But go ahead, because we'll talk about how I felt later.
Okay. Okay. So Miss J, you were probably my age when this album came out. We were just like out of nursery and stuff. But how was it when what was your impressions when you rediscovered this later on in life?
Well, as a kid, my sisters are older than me. I had a sister in love with Keith Sweat. So you couldn't tell her anything. She played Keith Sweat all the time. So I used to hear some of the songs when I was young from Keith Sweat. And rediscovering it now, I realized some songs that I forgot about because I haven't listened to the entire album for a long time. And to me, his voice was really nice on the first album. I feel like it was an original, nice voice. It was not as whiny to me as later years to me. So I loved the album. We got to wait to get to our list to talk about some of the stuff. But I was like, I just really love this album. Like, it was so hard to like categorize it. I've been listening to this all week, every day. You're talking about any new news? No, I've been listening to this album every single day.
That's good.
This is it.
Yeah. I mean, for those who just joined in, HM Beats, welcome. So this is my all-time favorite album. And I think if I can go back, I think the two songs that I remember growing up as a kid were "I Wanna" and "Make It Last Forever." Strangely enough, because I was born in the UK, but I went to secondary school in Nigeria, and I went to boarding school. So "Make It Last Forever," the track with you, Jackie, was something that was big in Nigeria at the time. And so I always remember that song standing out and the longevity of that song. And but like Stevie, when I went through my Teddy discovery, you know, when I think it was when he did Fantasy, when Guy did Fantasy, that's when, and someone said he did that and he did the Keith Sweat, he did the Prerogative. Then I started to go back and you know, and rediscover Teddy and stuff like that. But then for me, over the years, this has just been, and I probably would be saying this because Teddy did 7.5 out of the 8 songs producing, did all the music. I just said, okay, well, this is, you know, this was my favorite. But going for like Miss J this week, just listening to it again, I was able to say, okay, I already have I had my top 8 just in order. I knew where they were. I knew how it played. I know all the songs. It just even if I play it, I know what's coming next and what's starting and everything. So as much as I'd wish we could just go from song number 1 down to song number 8 and then talk about them before we rank them, I know it's best if we start with number 8 down to 1, and actually when we do talk about 8, we can talk about the song itself. And Jackie, you know, you can always give us some of the backgrounds, with sort of background gist with when you bring out your song. Yes. Are you aware that the title is Bobby? Oh, Jackie, I'm still bumping Skeezer to this day. R&B.
Don't be getting me in trouble. That was my song.
Yes, Skeezer. Yes. When I first met Jackie and I went back and saw some of those old videos. I'm like, okay.
You had to pray for me, Nnamdi.
I had to pray for you. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna start with number 8, and I think this is why I say I love this album, because it was just 8 tracks. You know, they didn't have too many album fillers.
Right.
That said, what has just happened here? No, this is wrong. Okay. Oh my goodness, I don't know what happened here. That said, my number 8 song is "In the Rain."
Oh.
Now, I would say the reason why this song is number 8 is because our good friend Sheldon, who was with us from the very beginning, he made me realize that it was a remake, and I did not realize that. And so when he played me the original one, I just got disappointed that they remade a song, and they could have played "Just Got Paid." They could have added that to the album instead of "In the Rain." I think, but it's a nice track. But the moment I recognized that it wasn't an original and it was a remake, I just lost love for it. So I've bumped it to number 8. It's still a good track, but it's my least favorite on the album.
Oh wow.
Yes. Yeah, so that was, I mean, a lot of people, Timmy Lee, Melodic, you know, Chim Beats, Tanya, this is Music Lover T on 07. A lot of people putting it in there. It was a nice song, but it wasn't, being a remake, I was disappointed when I found that out. But it's still, as I said, I still love the song. Okay. Miss J, what about yourself?
You hurt me over here. I love that song, but I won't talk about that right now. I love that song.
Yes. Don't give it all away, Miss J. Don't give us.
I'm trying to hold back. I'm holding back.
Try not to spoil. No spoilers, please.
I'm holding back. Okay, so my number 8 is this song puts me in the mind of "Don't Stop Your Love," but it's slower, or is it faster? No, it's "Tell Me It's Me You Want" is my number 8. Tell me it's me. After listening to it all week, I started to like it.
Don't you got to tell me? Don't you? Oh, come on.
We all got quiet. We were all quiet.
Oh, come on, okay. And I love all the songs, so it's good. You think I don't sing as well as Andrew Knight, but man, I'm gonna show some passion tonight with this album. So go ahead, continue.
Who's next?
Oh, Stevie.
I'll tell you what I do remember, especially about, I know the album come out in 87, but I used to, one of the first record shops I go to in my local town, it's called Vibes Records. And I was basically buying records that I'd heard on the radio. There used to be this guy called Mike Shaft from Manchester. He had the soul show that everybody listened to in Manchester on a Saturday evening. And he'd play somewhere and I'd go to the record shop and I'd buy it. So 1988, I'm buying Will Downing's first album. I'm buying I'll Be Sure, Night and Day on 12-inch, Glenn Goldsmith, By All Means. I didn't know what New Jack Swing was. This album was in the racks. I'd skip past it because I didn't know what it was. I was in the racks. I'd skip past it. New Edition. I was getting all these more mature soul-sounding records. So you can imagine a year later in 89, when I heard another DJ on the radio playing some New Jack, I was like, my God, that record, I've skipped past. I'm running to try to get the record that I've skipped past for a year. So anyway, I finally gets this album, blown away by it. But what is it, number 8? I got to agree with Miss J. Tell me it's me you want, baby. Bum, bum, bum,
Got
bum,
to tell me.
No, I think it's a great album cut. I think it's right. It should be there. It's a really strong cut. It's not like a 10 out of 10 killer, but it's got everything I like in a slow jam mid-beat ballad. It's just that the other tracks are stronger. That's all it is. But it's a great record. You can't fault his vocal on it. You can't really. The chorus is strong enough. It's a strong album cut. 8 out of 10 I'd give it. But it's at number 8 in my chart anyway.
Right. There's
and
no wrong. I mean, as I said.
Everything else is so amazing.
Yeah, and this is not like this is the worst song. It's pretty much you have to have a number 8. But Jackie, what about you? What would be number 8 on your on your list?
Okay, my number 8 is the same as Miss J and Stevie's. Tell Me It's Me You Want. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. First of all, that song did not have the flow to me that the rest of the album had. Like the energy was there, because like Stevie was singing, the "Tell Me It's Me You Want, babe." That's what you hear that, but we didn't perform it live much. Mm-hmm. I think we did it. I remember doing it maybe once. We did not perform that song live, so it was almost like that song got left behind. You know what I mean? We did not do that live.
Okay.
Maybe once, like I said, maybe once, but we didn't do it live. So if that makes y'all feel,
you always get better, one track like that on an album.
What you say?
You always get a track like that on the album.
Yeah.
You always get one track, one or two tracks, and that.
Yeah, that's the little, we might not want to perform that live. We got to think about that one. Yeah.
Okay. As I said, I'm not mad at anyone. I mean, for my number 7, it is Tell Me. And as I said, the album, my list switched slightly because In the Rain was a remake, and I was disappointed to find that out. Tell Me doesn't start really good. It when it starts, you're like, oh, this is gonna be whack, and then it kicks in, and then you can feel the energy. It goes around, and unfortunately, it doesn't hold its own like some of the other tracks. It just feels really dated with the Simpsons stuff. But as I said, I still like it when it kicks off and goes in. So number 7 for me is Tell Me. It's Me You Want. You got to tell me. Got to tell me. Okay.
Nnamdi having a good old time.
Hey man, I as I said, I this is my album. This is my album. I mean, I used to debate between this and the Bobby album, but then because of those Babyface tracks, this one is by far superior. Yeah, I even prefer it to Thriller, strangely enough. But anyway, we've got all night to dance to this one. Miss J, what's number 7 for you? So we
Number 7 for me. It was about 3 o'clock when I looked at the time, and I had about 2 more hours before I got to your love. Don't stop your love.
You did not do that to her.
There's too many good songs on here. I don't know.
Oh my God. The come here boy. Hey, I want
You
you
sound
boy.
amazing.
Hey. That made the song. No, you did not. No, I'm playing. I love it.
I love it though. I love this song. And like that beat, I just love this song. But everything is like really a 1 for me. Like it's 1. If I could number it, it'd be like 1B, 1C, 1D. But I can't.
Now, I would confess that used to be my worst song because Teddy didn't do the full production on it. But I have listened to it a lot better. I've grown to like, okay, I can appreciate. I mean, that's how much I had to take on my Teddy bias and appreciate the song for a song. So, but as I said, but for me, there's no wrong, bad songs on this album. Right. It's just that there's some that we all had to put above the other. Okay, Stevie.
This track is very much a groove bass led track that at the time I was so into because it was up tempo. It's one of the dance tracks. It was the ending of was it the last track? Yeah, it was the last track on the album. I really enjoyed it at the time, but I've noticed over the years that I've kept playing this album. It's sounding creaky, sounding dated, and I think that bass sound that's in the record, that bow, 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 it's dated the track, unfortunately. But I still love it, and I agree with Miss J. Don't Stop Your Love is at number 7. Great dance track, but
it
just hasn't production-wise. It hasn't stood the test of time. Unfortunately.
It was the stabs, because the stabs, they do kind of throw you off.
Oh, it's that bass, it's that groove sound. Bow, 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 ba-dow, wow, wow, wow. Great groove, but it's the actual sound. The sound. It just sounds dated now. It's dated the track.
Well, thank the Most High. That
but still, don't get me wrong, I like the track. I do like the track a lot. And I played it a lot back then.
Wait a minute, let me think. What was Keith's first single? Was Don't Stop Your Love the first single? I'm talking crazy.
I Want Her.
I Want Her was the first?
Yeah. But no video. And then I got this all written down. The second single that came out, where's this my list? I have this list down here.
The second single
Something Just Ain't Right.
Yeah.
Something Just Ain't Right. And Make It Last was 3rd. And Don't Stop Your Love was the 4th. But that was the only one that had a video. The 4th single. I mean, that's crazy to think that your 4th single is the only single that has a video, and the other 3. I think Right and the Wrong Way had a video.
We were on. Yeah, one of them starts off with one of them. No, it's Don't Stop Your Love that come Right and the Wrong Way or something comes in the beginning of the video. It plays it a little bit or whatever. I can't remember, but the reason why there was no videos was because we were on the road. When I tell you, and they probably didn't have no budget either, but I don't know. I don't know what happened, if they had budget or not. But when the songs were dropping, they were fire out the gate. Everything just started flying. So it was like, it was really no time to shoot no videos. it was just going on the road, grinding 6 days a week, you know, being out there. And for the people that don't know, yes, I was with Keith Sweat from the beginning, from 87 when we started. I started recording 86. So 87 to 91, you know, I was out on the road and stuff with him. And we worked our asses off. We worked hard, and we started off in the little what do you call it? We started off in the clubs, in all the hole in the walls, the little bring your own bag, you know, a little greasy bag, had a pork chop in it, you know, those back row places that they put a stage, they made a stage, you know, somebody came and put like a wooden thing so the band would be stable, but it was on top of some dirt. We did a lot of those places, a lot of backwoods places in, you know, those towns that people wanted to see, you know, see that. Then we did colleges, and then we did theaters, and then from the theaters we went to arenas. So it was a gradual thing, but it went fast. So it was no time to do really any videos. When we did a video, it was like, oh shoot, we shooting a video? Really? You know, we all got happy to shoot a video. But but go ahead.
Can I just make one more point about Don't Stop Your Love, and especially, again, I'm going to back my point up about this. He had Fred MacFarlane on it, and Fred MacFarlane at the time, I think he was working a lot with Alton Wookie Stewart, and they had their own New Jack sound, and you can tell there. Fred MacFarlane worked on a Keisha Jackson album, did a track called Hot Little Love Affair. He worked on I'm going really deep here, A.C. Kelly's debut album for Columbia, which people have forgotten about. Also, Alton Wookie Stewart's album, She's a Slammer. They're very much 80s sounding New Jack, not 90s New Jack Swings, 80s sounding. And again, this is what I mean by it sounds dated. As much as I love that swing sound that they produced, and we could do a whole podcast on it, it sounds very much of the time now. It hasn't, you know what I mean? It's very dated sounding. So I'm going to back that up with Don't Stop Your Love. So thank you for letting me get the point across there.
Yeah.
Fred, but don't sleep. But you know, Fred MacFarlane, most high rest his soul. Fred MacFarlane was one of the
totally
amazing.
One
of the I mean, and I knew him. You know, Fred was quiet, and he wore a lot of bracelets like I do, and all you hear is his bracelets coming. But when I tell you, when he got on that keyboard, he was a beast, ridiculous. And I know Teddy loved Fred. You know what I mean? Like Fred had a sound too, and those
that's what I'm saying, Jackie. By the late 80s, he developed. They had their own swing New Jack sound, but it's very. If you listen to it now, it's very of its time. That's all I'm saying.
No. I know what
you
you're saying.
I love those.
No, I was just saying, you know, for people to know that, you know, Teddy definitely loved Fred MacFarlane. You know, his playing, his you know, Fred, because Fred was just a dope, an amazing musician. Period. But go ahead, y'all go.
Yeah, no, but even I just rewatched an interview I did with Timmy Gatlin, and he said that Fred was very understated, very similar to Kyle West. They weren't very out there.
Yeah.
And so I didn't. So he mentioned that Fred was also one of those great producers who just wasn't in the limelight, or it wasn't out there. So, but really good. Okay. So he has put "Don't Stop Your Love" as number 7. What did you get for your number 7, Jackie?
In the Rain.
Okay. What was the reason?
I'm like you. It was a remake, and I wasn't crazy about the original. But let me for the people that love Keith Sweat's album, the people that love that song from when it was made before, I think that it rebirthed it. You know what I mean? And Keith took it to another level live. I didn't like it on, you know, regular on the record in the studio. I wasn't crazy about it, but live, he took it to another level. So I grew to like it, because we did crazy backgrounds on it live. We were singing our entire heads off live. You know, me and my friend John James and Vivian Sessom was the one that was there from the beginning too, that was doing vocals. She did vocals on the record too. So live, we was killing it. And Jenny Douglas, let me not forget Jenny Douglas, because she started with me first with Keith. So she was singing with me, Anna and Trika. So I can't leave nobody out. But it wasn't a favorite for me, like I said, from on the album, because it was a remake and I wasn't crazy about the first one, but Keith killed it live. So I give him that. Keith killed it live.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay. As I said, hardly any bad singles, songs. I didn't realize that Something Just Ain't Right, they had a video for it. But I just got, that's why I looked to see. Number 6 for me, and I would say it was probably, as Jackie, you said, was the first song that was made. I wonder if the reason why it was the first record that was recorded, it sounded different from the rest of the album. Is there a reason why Don't Stop Your Love was? It sounded. We talked about Fred MacFarlane producing it, but it sounded different from what Teddy did. Did the label then say, you know what, we don't like this sound, and then he went to get Teddy to do the rest of the album? But what do you think could have been if that was the first one recorded, but then Fred didn't really get involved with it much, and Teddy just had his sound over the rest?
Now, I don't know how Teddy met Vincent Davis. Vincent was the
Keith has said that.
Keith said
Teddy and Keith have said that Keith went looking for Teddy, and begged him, but convinced him to. And Teddy says because of Kids at Work, because Kids at Work was a flop, that he didn't want to do any more R&B, and he was doing all the Kumo D stuff and Heavy D. He wanted to just do hip hop, and it was Keith that persuaded him. You know, he beat him in craps, and he took all his money and says, "Look, man, yeah." And Keith just said, "Look, man, I need your sound for." And Keith was with the pen, and Teddy did the sound. So, but my question was that Teddy did the next 7 songs, and "Don't Stop Your Love" was the first recorded, and it felt, I don't know if the label thought, actually, you need something, a different sound. But yeah, but that's how you got in with "Don't Stop Your Love" before Teddy was doing anything.
When I came to the studio, like I said, Teddy was there. So, and I heard "Don't Stop Your Love" first. Fred wasn't there. That's why I got confused. I was like, well, who did "Don't Stop Your Love"? Who did "Don't Stop Your Love"? Because Fred wasn't there when I came. But what I do know is Vincent Davis, who was Vintertainment. He was a record label distributed through Elektra. Vincent was also Keith's manager, and he managed me too for a little while. Vincent was very, very, very. Vincent definitely knew what he wanted, as far as that Teddy sound. So if "Don't Stop Your Love" was truly, truly the first one, it was probably because Keith got with Fred MacFarlane, because, they already knew each other, versus him really knowing Ted like that, and he probably went to what was hot first, let me go get Fred, because Fred was a beast. But then when you bring, that little 19-year-old in the door, 20-year-old in the door, and he's a genius, it just took away from it. To me, Keith and Teddy just clicked, like salt with French fries and some ketchup. They just clicked, and it was like bam, and that's how hits were made. And Teddy said something, and I have to agree with him. As far as Teddy and Keith working together, Teddy has a great ear. Keith has a great ear. I think the both of them heard the best of the both of them well, we know Teddy did way more stuff that was hot too, but they complemented each other and they made a freaking masterpiece with that album, you know. And Teddy was like, I was his best A&R. Yeah, you probably telling the truth, you know, because Keith's other albums were different. Not to take away from, you know, what Bobby Wooten and anybody else did, but nobody was a Teddy. So, you know. Okay. Sorry.
So your number 6 was no, your number 7 was In the Rain. Okay, so number 6 for me. So as I was saying, this is that I suspected they probably listened to "Don't Stop Your Love," got Teddy to do some additional keyboard stuff, which is what while you were there, and it was a Teddy who recorded your. When you recorded your vocals with Teddy while he was in the studio?
I don't remember who was there when I did "Don't Stop Your Love." Like I don't remember who did my vocal. It was Keith, but I can't remember. I know Teddy was there. I can't remember. Don't Stop Your Love. I don't remember much about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like the whole you know, I love how that theme that goes through. Now, of course, yeah, as Stevie says, it did sound dated, but it's still very funky. But so for my number 6 is "Don't Stop Your Love," and it used to be number 8 because Teddy didn't do full production in it. But I've had to appreciate its sound and the whole vibe and the excitement of the track. And when you watch the video, everyone just seems like they're having fun. So it's a very uplifting song. So number 6 for me is "Don't Stop Your Love." So it's not too far from what Stevie and Miss J had it. You know, they had it at number 7 or so. Yeah. Jay, what about you?
My number 6 starts off. It sounds like a beautiful piano. I love the intro. It's "How Deep Is Your Love." I love the song.
Wow.
No. Girl.
It's hard to break.
Wait, what year were you born, boo? You was born in you was probably born in like 1998. We not, girl.
I love it though. I love it.
Miss Jane's about to experience her first roasting on the podcast. We all get there. We all get there. Yours is coming now, unfortunately. Yours is coming.
I love that she's being honest about, you know, what she hears. But I believe that if she was a little older when it came out, she would understand what was going on in Harlem and, you know, around New York, around, you know, wherever the songs were going. You would hear the drug dealers driving down the street with the drop tops and whatever. And all you hear is boom, 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 boom. And all you hear is "How Deep Is Your Love?" And everybody's singing. Every car that drive by, whatever drug dealer was rocking it, he was singing. So it was a movement. And you know, you was still a baby, you know what I mean? But the movement.
Yeah, but I would say, I mean, because it leaned very heavily off of Computer Love with Ralph Trapman. Yeah. And I think one of the things I would say that the thing about that song is that I don't know why Teddy, you know, he did with the Goodbye Love and I can't remember the other one off the Guy album. And then he abandoned that sound and everyone else copied it.
What you mean, Piece of My Love?
Pardon? Piece of My Love and Goodbye Love and Piece of My Love and How Deep Is Your Love. He almost abandoned the sound, and everyone from H-Town, R. Kelly, Jodeci picked it up and ran with it.
Yeah.
And he just, I don't know why he abandoned the sound, but he had it and he just left it. And so so the fact that you said that was what the vibe was, it doesn't surprise me about how much of an impact song that was. Yeah. But as Miss J would say, look, man, 8 songs, you have to put them in order, and it's hard.
Right.
It is hard.
It is.
Yeah, it is definitely hard. Stevie, what about you?
Uh-oh.
I'll be honest, this top 8 took me about 3 minutes to do. It wasn't I've kept my original draft. I've not moved anything around. I'm pretty confident that this is, but I'd say from 6 onwards, it is hard. But when I first heard this track I didn't know it was a remake. So I'm hearing it back then, this song for the first time, and I'm blown away. I'm like, my gosh, what a track! And I got to thank Keith Sweat, because after I discovered that it was a remake and it was done by the Dramatics in 1972, I became a fan of the Dramatics. I went out and bought Dramatics albums.
Wow.
Their lead vocalist was, oh my God, the Dramatics. But that's a whole nother podcast. So I do thank Keith for putting me onto a great original soul record. But Keith's version is amazing. It's up there with the Dramatics. He did a great cover version in his own way. But it's made my number 6. It could have been higher. Could have been a lot higher. But I just think, it's number 6, In the Rain. I just think the other tracks are just a bit more special. But In the Rain's a great record for me. So it's at number 6.
Okay.
Great.
So Jackie, before you go to your number 6, Tyson asks you this question. How great was Whitney in her prime, and have you ever met her?
Who, Whitney?
Yes.
Yeah, I met Whitney. Whitney, I told you my Whitney story. I knew Bobby, of course, first, and was knowing Bobby for a long time. And when I met Whitney, I was pregnant. And when I came in there, and Bob was like, hey! Whitney's whole face was like, what the F is going on up in here? Because it was her show. I came backstage, right? She didn't even, trying to think, did she even go on yet? No, she didn't go on yet. So Chris Rock was back there, and he was like, he started singing Make It Last Forever. He was like, wait, you don't know Jackie McGee? And she just started singing, and she was like, oh, but here comes, my baby daddy, Mark Dorsey. And she was actually managing him with Robin and managing my kid's dad with Robin at the time. She had no idea that, we were together and we were engaged and none of that. So she looking at Bobby like, what is this pregnant B.I. doing?
It better not be your child.
It better not be your child. But sweet. She just started singing Make It Last Forever, singing her entire head off. I was like, okay, you're going to make me not want to do the song ever again. Just okay. But yeah, that was my first Whitney experience.
Okay. We do it like that. Okay, so what's your number 6, Jackie?
My number 6 is, I think it was your same number 6. Don't Stop Your Love.
You kind of batted everyone else until, okay, so why did you put it to number 6, even though you featured on it?
I mean, just because I sing on stuff don't mean that it's great. You know what I mean? So, I was glad that, we were able to do a video, and stuff to it. Back then I was about 7 or 8, when I was singing. So I was about 7 or 8. To be for real, I was 20 when I recorded Don't Stop Your Love and Make It Last. I was 20 years old. So now I'm 58, almost 59. Most high willing. So, I was a baby, and I just sung whatever they wanted. It was like, oh, you here? Come sing this. We need your vocals on this. So Don't Stop Your Love was actually the first one that I did vocals on. That's why I said I vaguely remember. I know Teddy was there. That was the first song I heard, but I vaguely remember that. I remember Make It Last, but Don't Stop Your Love, I was like, all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys see the video, you can see that they keep going back. They feature you prominently in the video. Who's the guy next to you with the guitar?
The guitar player, Keith Robinson. He was in our band as well, and he sung. So basically what we were doing on stage when we were really performing, that's what we did. That's how we did the video. So the video was just what we were really performing on stage. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it wasn't it wasn't no real thought to that video. It was like, I think we did it at the Apollo or something.
Okay. Okay. All right. We're going to the top 10 categories now. So number 5 for me. So maybe because of it borrows a lot from Computer Love. I had How Deep Is Your Love at number 5. It is probably a song that does seem like it could have been played in the 90s, and it'll still be a hit. It could have been recorded. It feels like a timeless record that you can play it. Blackstreet had one. What was the one on the Blackstreet album? I Wanna Love You, Making Love in the Rain. What, do you remember that song on the Blackstreet debut album? Making Love in the Rain. Okay, Stevie.
I want to make love.
I want to make love. Yeah. I want to make that. Yeah. So it felt so. How Deep Is Your Love is very timeless. Means that, as I said, it was recorded in the 80s. If it was played in the 90s, it still would have been a hit. I just felt it was really good. But there were 4 other songs that I probably prefer to it. But yeah, How Deep Is Your Love is number 4.
The first person I've heard saying that it sounds like Computer Love. I never got that.
No, but it samples it. Even in a credit, it says it samples it.
Does it?
It says in the credit that it samples it. Because he does the shoo-doo-doo. So it samples Computer Love by Roger. In the credits, it says so. Even when I went through it.
I never got that.
Yeah.
Never got that at all.
Yeah. No, but because especially with the vocoder, so that's the part where it did.
It doesn't credit. I'm looking at the album credits and doesn't credit Roger or anybody, so I just want to know. Doesn't credit him at all. Yeah. I don't know where you're getting your credit from, but they must be updated.
If you looked at the original album, it didn't have Teddy as producing it. It had him as just playing the keyboards and doing keyboard programming and.
Teddy said he wrote the track with Keith Sweat. He said he played drum programs on it. Which version of the album have you got? Which version?
So the very first, they've reissued. They reissued the album, which gave Teddy his credit as a producer. Mm-hmm. But back then, the original one, they put Teddy as Keith produced the album, and Teddy just did keyboards and drum programming. So, but yeah, forget the fact that he got inspired by Computer Love. It's still, as I said, a timeless song. Yeah, but there were just 4 other songs to me that were just much that I just love much better. Yes. Miss J, what about you?
So Timmy Lee and I have the same number 5. Don't kill me, y'all. Right and a wrong way. It's number 5.
That's in the top 5.
So what did you make of the track?
I thought Keith, I never heard him sound more beautiful than this song to me. Like the part where he sang the higher register, when he sang "All I Need Is Your Lovin' Here." Yeah. That was beautiful. That was this album is too good. Like I again, really number 1 C, 1 B. It's really like that for me. It's hard to rank this album. This is a great song. His voice was, to me, this was like peak Keith. To me, like his voice was the best on this album.
Okay.
Don't kill me, y'all.
Yeah.
No, you good. You good. You good.
Oh goodness. What about what about you, Stevie?
You need to
Uh-oh,
develop
here we go.
you'll develop some thicker skin during this podcast, Miss J. Go on. Like, I'm feeling, I know I'm going to get a few red and yellow cards for my next pick, which I've gone through 3 stages with this record, 3 different stages of actually over the years. The first stage was when I first heard it, like when I first heard Bobby Brown, My Prerogative. And I heard it when it came out as like a chart. And I thought, what is that? I couldn't quite compute it because it sounded so different. So when I first heard it, I wasn't sure whether I liked it or not. And then when I got into my proper New Jack stage, I couldn't stop playing it. I just thought this is like an incredible record that I ended up going past that because I played it so many times and I heard it so many times that I got through the stage of I'm over it now. I'm just almost like I'm a bit fed up of hearing it, to be quite honest. It's not, if I put the LP on or the CD on, it's not the first track that I go to, but it's a classic. If I went out to a club and a DJ dropped it, I'd be on the floor dancing to it. But if I also had to compile a top 10 New Jack Swing tracks that I'm kind of overhearing, Just Got Paid would be in there, Poison would be in there, because I've heard them too many times. Sorry, folks. It's a great record. It's a classic. But I Want Her is at number 5.
I knew he was going to say I Want Her. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
My top 5 has to be in my top 5. Someone put it at number 1. I understand. If you put your number 1, I totally understand. But it definitely has to be in your top 5 on this album. For anybody, anyone who's got this out of the top 5, then you're getting a red card. But it is a top 5 record.
Okay.
No doubt about it. Number 5.
I mean,
For that reason,
we love you
like I
for
say, I'm
that.
backing my reason. I'm backing. Yeah, I'm just trying to, backing my reasons up for why I put these at certain stages. I mean, have you been to that stage where you've heard a record too many times that the excitement, you're over the thrill of it?
Yeah.
And that's one of them.
Yeah.
But, it's the way it goes, isn't it?
But I would also say that I guess for me,
NJ3, I'm not crazy. No, that's my reason. That is my reason.
I would
I don't know
also
whether that's VJ or who's got the NGS3 handle. I think it's VJ. Good evening.
Oh, okay. What about you?
Nice to meet up with you on Friday. Nice to meet up with you on Friday, by the way. I haven't seen you for 20 years. We met up. We had our 20-year reunion on Friday.
What about you, Jackie? What makes your number?
My number 5. Y'all are gonna be really shocked. My number 5 is Make It Last Forever.
What?
Stop it.
What are you talking about, Willis?
And let me tell y'all
this
why.
is the most anticlimactic moment of the podcast.
I know y'all were gonna be like, what the hell is she talking about? So Make It Last Forever for me, when I recorded it, I loved it. I wasn't crazy about Keith's voice. I never thought that it would be a hit record, ever. I was like, no way. This is gonna be trashed. I thought the track was dope. I thought what we sung was dope, Teddy and Keith going back and forth with me, I sing this, sing that, but Teddy was the one that had me doing the ooh, oh. Teddy had me doing that, and all the stuff, and yes, I feel like I did a powerful performance on that song, but it was not my favorite song. I can't lie and be like, put me at number 1 just because I'm singing it. No, I have to be honest. Make It Last Forever wouldn't have been my number 1 choice, number 2 choice, number 3 choice. I felt that Make It Last Forever at the time to me was more a filler, for the album. Until we started really, it started blowing up on the road like crazy. And it was like people were losing their whole entire minds when we would, soon as they hear, or they hear, they was like, I was like, what the heck? So it was like, it turned into a whole like pandemonium, you know, a whole crazy. Soon as they heard Make It Last, that was it. I mean, when I would do Make It Last, guys would throw money on stage.
Wow.
And they would be like, don't touch it, it's for her. You know, that was my little drug dealer friends, you know, and, you know, and and the women would lose their minds. You know, me and Keith was doing all kind of crazy stuff that, you know, Father forgive me.
I've seen some pictures. I've seen some of the pictures.
Father forgive me. Because, you know, we really did. We killed that song on the road, but it just was not, it wasn't a favorite. Is it now? Yes. I think it's his best song from the album now. Not because I saw the whole transition of it coming from, you know, 88 dropping to now 2005, and all of these kids love it because their parents loved it, but they, you know, they say it like it came out yesterday. And that's just, it's so much joy when you see, like, when they played in the arena, and Master P played it in his show, and the whole freaking arena went nuts. Everybody's singing it. That is the best feeling in the world. And then New Edition did it on their tour. They played it. Everybody went nuts. So every time somebody use it and DJs play it, and they, you know, people go crazy. That's why I call it his number one now from it, you know, because this is the one to me that's getting the most, you know, airplay out of all of them now. Make It Last Forever just came and she done rised up and said, I'm here, damn it. But yeah,
what did you make of the cover that Mariah did with Joe?
You know what, to be honest, because I'm a Joe fan. I love Joe.
Yeah.
And you know, Joe is a sweetheart, good dude. Mariah, I don't know Mariah, but to be fair, I thought that Mariah did a decent job. I really do. I really did think that she did she did it the way Mariah would say it, and that's why I liked it. You know, because when she did her little airy, the baby, like real air, I love that. I felt that she made it hers, and then I love Nas, so you know, Nas rapping it, and I was like, I'm sold. You know, but radio didn't go crazy over it because everybody was huge, you know, Make It Last Forever fans, so they were like, nope, and down. They were like, that is not Teddy Riley's 808 popping off, and that is not Jackie McGee coming in there with that ooh, oh, soon as the people love that. That's what just, and Teddy made me sing that one thing right there. He said, sing this, Jack. And that's that staple. Right,
you know what? I interviewed LJ Robinson, the lead singer of Profile. I don't know if you guys remember them that sang was it Nothing But a Liar, a Cheat, and I'm taking the house, the car, the kids, and the dog. I want it all.
I know the song. Wait, I know the song.
Yeah, you're nothing.
Nnamdi, your singing is crazy.
they had a song called Liar. I'm taking the house, the car, the kids. I want it all. Yeah,
I know the song.
And they also had a song called Damn. So Teddy did the production of the song Liar, Profile. They were signed to Motown with Kadar and stuff. But anyway, one of the things, because I said, what was it like working with Teddy? And then he says how Teddy was a genius. That he says, I'm sure that when Jackie was singing Make It Last Forever and doing ooh, I'm sure Teddy told her to do that. And I'm thinking, how would he tell her to be doing that? Because normally I would assume as a singer, you're just feeling the vibe and like you're flowing. But he says, no, I'm sure Teddy told her to sing it just like that. And this is what you've confirmed, which is amazing. I'm going to actually cut that part of the interview up and repost it so that you could see that he saw it back then and said it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, and that's Teddy because that's how Teddy works. You know, he'll be in there and he's, you know, he'll be playing something and he'll be all funky and then he'll go, Dad. And he'll be like, what the kind of maestro shenanigans, ghetto ass maestro. Dad. But that shit works because he make you want to sing it like, Dad. You know, and that's Teddy. Oh my gosh. Like I said, we won't take away from Keith because Keith had a lot of great, you know, input on Make It Last Forever too with the vocals, you know. So it just all came together beautifully. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, it's my number 4, so it's amazing how close we are on that.
Wow.
I think one of the challenges I had, because I told you this song was big when I first heard it when it came out in Nigeria as well, but it sounded at the time very mature. It didn't sound like something that I would listen to, but it's a staple song. And it's very challenging when other groups and people try and do remakes of a song. It's really hard because the original is so good that there's some songs it's hard to get away with making a remake and trying to get away with it. It's almost like Michael Jackson's Lady in My Life. You know, when you try and do a remake of it, it's almost like, you know, you just, you know, you can't do a cover version of it unless you change it up. Unless you change it up and make it your own, then, you know, like when Shantae Savage did I Will Survive. I didn't realize it was the same Gloria Gaynor song. You know, because that's how you try and make it your own. I think one of the things I learned, I listened to it and I thought, they turned your vocals down compared to Keith's.
On
Make It Last Forever.
On what part? On
well,
all
no.
of it to you? On the whole
Yeah,
thing?
it sounded like yours was fainter than his because I listened to it on the headphones and it doesn't sound as if it sounds like they not as bad as they did with Tammy Lucas on.
Did you have your headphones on the right way round when you was listening to it?
You gonna have me
seriously,
fighting Jeff?
you?
I gotta go find an engineer, Jeff, and fight him anyway. Because he got down, he has on the
again. I've never noticed that now. Are you sure you have to?
Yeah. I've been listening
on your headphones to the left.
I've
right. Try the left and the right.
I've been listening to it all week.
Again, I've never heard that.
But if you, I've been listening to it really loud, and it's slightly lower. I think what got on my head was Tammy talked about she was supposed to have a duet with Aaron in Goodbye Love. It was supposed to be a duet like Make It Last Forever, but Jean Griffin just said no, we don't want, turn her down. So she's almost fading in the back. And so I had that in my head. So when I'm listening to Make It Last Forever, just this past week, it did sound slightly like yours was a little bit toned down, but it was just something minor. Other than that, though, it's I know it's a classic, but I had 3 other songs that I just felt were I love a lot better than Make It Last Forever. Although I would say that there are two songs on this album that have a place in music history, and Make It Last Forever is one of them. And when I bring up that song, I'll name which other song that I think, despite where we put on our charts, is also one of those songs that will always have a space in Black music history. Yes. Miss J, you're number 4.
Okay. My number 4, the first 6 seconds sounds like an interpolation of, or is reminiscent of Switch, I Pulled a Switch. And I'm going to play it for you. If it works. Let's see if it works. What song sounds like this? Can you hear it?
No.
No? Okay. Well, it is. My number 4 is Something Ain't Right. You know the beginning of I Pulled a Switch? That's why you can't hear it. It's on mute. Okay. Doesn't that sound like the intro?
No.
No, not a little bit.
It has a little deleted in it.
I agree with you. I get what you're hearing. Yeah, and you're right. But you know, the sound, of course, the sounds that Teddy had, you know, it was almost like a piano player practicing.
Okay.
And he just came up with a you know what I mean?
I love this song, but yes, but that the intro it made me think of Switch, but something ain't right.
Wow. Okay.
Number 4.
That's a good number 4.
Stevie, what you know, a lot of people put in right and the wrong way. Tanya and Emily. Okay, what about you, Steve? What's your number 4?
It's interesting the reaction of social media to certain records years on and certain lyrics in tracks, because there's a side of social media that try to kill this track, actually try to destroy it, but you can't, because it's a great record. But the certain, I know where they were going with it, but I've never felt that way about it. But the lyric in it that goes, "You're young but you're ready to love," they picked up on that lyric. And they've referred it to something that it just isn't. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. It's a PDF situation. So those on social media have tried to destroy right in the wrong way. No, you got that one wrong. I'm sorry. But right in the wrong way is at number 4 for me. It's just an incredible ballad on the album. Incredible ballad. It's been in my top 5.
Okay. As I said, it's very, it's a tough, when you have 8 songs, anything that you place, it's a high song. So, right. So number 4 for Stevie is Right in the Wrong Way. Okay, Jackie, what's your number 4?
I agree totally with Stevie. That's my number 4, and I said the same thing. You may be young, but you're ready to learn.
But you're singing backgrounds on that as well.
I know. I was getting ready to say, don't get me wrong now. But when it comes to certain lyrics, you know, I'm like, okay, no, because I was young at a time, and at that time, and you know, it was a lot of little things that happened, you know, to me in the music industry as well, like with people trying to come on to you and whatever. So that you may be young, but you're ready. You can't tell nobody when they damn ready. You know what I mean? So I just thought it kind of, after, I mean, we sung it so much, but don't get me twisted, because the song itself, you know, it's, come on, when it comes on, there's a right or wrong way to love somebody when you love me right. It's just, there's a good, come on, it just, but those lyrics, that you may be young, but you're ready. And after R. Kelly, forget it. I was like, Keith, you better change those damn lyrics. And, you know, I didn't tell him that, but in my head, I was like, you better change them lyrics, because they're going to come after your ass next. And they're going to be talking about, well, little kids, it's going to be little girls. You know, everybody should be scared right about now. I agree 100% with my boy Stevie. Streets, we on the same page.
Okay.
I just can't believe where you two have put Make You Laugh Forever. It's just so anticlimactic that you've you know.
That I put in number 5, you're still about to fight me.
Even Nnamdi's like, what do you have at number 4?
Which one? Make You Last?
Wow.
Yeah.
Make You Laugh Forever.
Yeah. As I said, my favorite album. So I can't get mad at. I can't get
It's like
mad.
watching a film. It's like watching a film, right? And you're waiting for the ending, and the ending is just like doesn't live up to your expectations.
Expectations, right?
That's what it feels like. But anyway,
Yeah, but you know, as I said, for me, when this being my favorite album, it's like, you know, for me, yeah, it's like moving things around, and it's all gonna be perfect. My number 3 is the second song that I say that no matter how we put it on our album, it will still go down in music history. this song changed how other producers took music seriously. Babyface, there's a video of Babyface that said when he heard this song, he said to LA, "What is this?" Jimmy Jam, I heard an interview with him a number of years ago, and he said when they heard this track, they were like, "Okay, who's this kid that's playing this stuff? What's going on?" You know. And it's I wanna now. I know it's always been a staple with New Jack Swing fans, and it's in one of those things when we're talking about New Jack Swing. It's right up there. Now a lot has happened since then, and in the time I used to just put it. I used to have it a 7 and 8, but I listened to it and I'm thinking, actually, this is a really, really good song. And Teddy's so much involved in the track. And he actually does his yep, yep in the song before he did it in Guy. So this was probably one of the first times we ever heard Teddy say yep, yep, because he's saying it the whole thing in this.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of producers talking in the radios on the album and get involved. But this is Teddy starting it off first. And I don't know, maybe somebody will correct me and say this DJ or this producer used to do that. But Teddy, as the producer, is all over this track, like Timbaland does later on. We had Timbaland, jumping in on songs. But Teddy was doing this back in '87. And so, I've got 2 other songs that are a lot more I love much better, but I want to say that this is a really trendsetter. Babyface said, man, they listened to this, they were like, we need to up our game. Now they did, with their production and their writing, but this took people out the scene and stuff. So I want her, Teddy and Keith, my number 3 song on this album. Yes.
Good one. Good. Hey, Nnamdi, we see you.
I see you. Miss J, what about you? What's number 3 on your list?
Yep. We finally agree. I can't dance. I don't know if everybody lives, but I want her as my number 3. Is he saying I can't dance? Is that what he's saying? Or what is he saying?
He's saying I can't bear.
No, thank you.
I can't bear.
Thank you.
Because he's saying
my
I want
entire family sings it wrong. My entire family sings it wrong. I can't bear. I learned that today. Thank you. We have all been singing. I can't dance. Thank you.
Oh my God.
I want her. Great song, number 3. I can't bear. Can't wait to tell my family this.
Yeah. Oh goodness. But I'm thinking about 97, and when did Bobby come out with King of Stage? Was that 86?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can't remember.
I'm the worst with album dates.
Was it 87 he came out King of Stage? Because I'm just wondering, because after this album we get Any Heartbreak, we get Guy album. It almost feels as if, and if you think about it, most of the other tracks, Something Just Ain't Right was released January of '88, and Make It Last Forever April '88, and so this album came at the end of '87 into '88, and then all of a sudden we're getting all these Guy, New Edition, Bobby, I'll Be Sure on the back of this album. And so I wonder how much this influenced how everyone else went back and redid the music. So as I said, LA, Babyface, and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis talked about this album, I Wanna, and thought, wow, what is this? This is a different sound, and it affected the work they did. And so how much did this influence Any Heartbreak and as I said, the Bobby album, Don't Be Cruel, and Night, and Albie Shaw's Night and Day album and stuff. It'll be something to look for.
Well, it influenced. It influenced them tremendously because they had to step up their game. Teddy's sound was so crazy, they had to step up their game. So it wasn't that they weren't dope, because of course LA and Babyface was ridiculous. So was Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam, beast out the gate. And even, you know, the other producers that were coming up, but it just opened up another door. And that was Pandora's box to like, okay, y'all got to make some music that's going to get these college kids dancing. Because they, you know, they out here tearing the dance floor up, you know, from hip hop coming through anyway, you know, from them break dancing and all that. It went right into, you know, the New Jack Swing era with everybody like, you know, doing the Running Man or whatever. So everybody had to come correct. To me, after I Wanna, everybody had to come with something crazy. Because, you know, you got to top that.
Okay. Stevie, what's your number? Where we at? Number 3.
Number 3. I used to have debates about this record with certain soul DJs who played soul music in nightclubs, and they'd say to me, "No, Steve, that isn't New Jack Swing." And at the time, I'm saying it is New Jack Swing. But you can all, I'm talking about the production of the record, the sound, the production. But it's a record that these soul DJs, they wouldn't play New Jack in a club, but they play this particular record. So you can all debate amongst yourselves whether it had a New Jack sound or not. But Something Just Ain't Right has made my number 3. It's got a great groove, fantastic groove. Is it New Jack Swing? Technically, it's up for debate. They say it isn't. I kind of argued it did. It was kind of in between, but it got played in New Jack nights. It got played in soul nights. I've heard it in a big sound system. It sounds incredible. It's what, you know, one of the first nightclubs I ever went to playing soul music, playing black music. This is where I heard it, and it blew my head away. But it's a great record. Either way, it's at my number 3. You debate that though. Is it New Jack Swing?
You know what? I'm with you, Stevie. I wouldn't say it was New Jack Swing sound either. It just had a groove. It just has a groove that's crazy. I didn't feel New Jack Swing like you don't get Running Man off of. So yeah, I agree with you, Stevie.
Okay. So then, what's your number 3, Jackie?
My number 3 is the same as yours and Miss J's. I Wanna. That's my number 3. Why y'all looking at me crazy?
No.
Number 1.
No, that's kind of number 1.
Oh,
but
y'all gonna be scared of my number 1.
But when did you hear? Did you hear it? When did you hear it? Were you there when it was recording it?
Yeah, I heard. I Wanna, of course, in the studio, and that was the one that I said, "Oh, this is a number 1 record, and this shit is out of here. That's a hit right off the. Soon as you hear, you know, because Teddy likes to play music loud.
Okay, I heard it.
So he made me crazy, and so that I can't listen to anything without it being blasted, you know, loud. I gotta hear the drums. I gotta hear the bass. I gotta hear everything. So soon as I heard the bam, bam, I was like, wait, what's this? And then bam, 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 bam. I was like, wait, what is this? I knew it was a number 1 record when I heard it. When I first heard the track, I said, that's number 1. That's a number 1 record right there. I was like, that's about to change the whole game. The whole game out the gate. As soon as you heard it. So classic, yes. Did it change the game? Yes. It changed the game. Definitely.
Wow. Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. Yes. I mean, definitely, and it still stands the test of time.
Yes.
So we're down to the top 2.
Huh?
Yes. So my number 2, I really do love this song. You may be young, but you're ready. Ready to learn. You're not a little girl. You're a woman. Take my hand. Let me tell you, baby. I'm yours for the taking. So
So
do
you
what you
can.
can, please.
Do what
Don't
you could.
take my love for granted. You're all I need. Hold me, baby. Never let me go. There's a right and a wrong way to love somebody. I mean, I'm of course post Me Too and everything. You kind of like you kind of cringe at that opening verse, but I just love I love the vibe. I love the Teddy playing the sax thing. His bridge part with I know it was keyboards, but it was
Yeah, I know what
just
you're talking about.
proper loving song like this. Yes, just do what you yeah, told me, hold me, yes, senor, oh baby. Yeah, I love the song, love the track, love the whole vibe and everything. Yes, so it's definitely my number two song on the. Did you guys perform that on tour?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's why. Okay, to be fair, I didn't start looking at the song weird until R. Kelly got in trouble. Look, I was at the record label and I saw all them tapes way ahead of time, and I said he gonna get in trouble, and they were like, "Jackie, shut up, be quiet, mind your business." I was like, "We're best babies," but it was rolled under the carpet, so I didn't think anything was wrong with it until R. Kelly really got in trouble and he got arrested. I was like, oh, Keith said Herb changed those. He's like, y'all gotta be in trouble. But I'm like you, Nnamdi, because we performed it live. It was on our show, and the crowd goes crazy, and all like I said, the late '80s, the '90s, that was the whole drug. I call it the drug dealer era. All the drug dealers was cool. They made every drug dealer cool. That was when New Jack City, all that stuff. So drug dealer stuff was cool. And I'm from New York, so the Harlem crew was they were vicious, but they were good cats though. They were good guys. So when you heard that in the car, same thing, and then same thing as performing it live. The crowd went crazy. As soon as they hear, right in the wrong way, the chords come in. It's like, because that's the joint. So I'm with you, Nnamdi. And you knew every word. You got
Well, I mean, what was backstage, underage, adolescence?
I know you're right.
It was
too much. That is too much. It's too much.
I mean, yeah. Will Smith had Parents Don't Understand. The girl was what, 13 or a 13-year-old runaway.
What?
But he was a teenager too at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah. No, he was about 19 or so. But when he said Parents Don't Understand, she was fine. She almost gave me whiplash to find out she was a 13-year-old runaway. I mean, I said, wow, why couldn't you say she was a 17-year-old runaway? But you went down to 13. So it's almost as if, it was, anyway.
Dirty old man writing these songs.
But you know what? But you have a point. And it's a lot of that infused in a lot of these songs. And I can even speak up for Do Me Baby, not to throw us off, but Do Me Baby, I wrote it with my ex-boyfriend Carl Borelli, and we wrote it for New Edition. Huh? But and Hiram was managing me, so I walked it in the door. But Mike wanted it for Belle Biv DeVoe. So they took the lyrics that I put in. I put in lyrics so that Johnny be singing his entire head off and, XYZ. But they took that out and they wrote Do Me Baby. And, I was happy for Carl because he got his producer credit. It blew up and he got paid a lot of money. But I can't say I didn't like the lyrics because I was singing them too. I was like, hey. You know what I mean? So I do have a little history with that song. So I was just saying, you know.
But did you get any credit for it, or?
No, because they removed all the lyrics that I wrote. So and they wrote the whole "Do Me Baby," you know, all the lyrics to "Do Me Baby." So no, but my ex-boyfriend Carbarelli, he did, and like I said, it was good for him because, you know, and that was the other thing. Carl was in the band with me and Teddy, so it's like it was a couple of us that came out of the band that really got to spread our wings. You know what I mean? So Teddy was the king of New Jack Swing. You know, Teddy calls me the first lady of New Jack Swing, which I don't do the name calling nonsense, but I started with them, and then Carbarelli, he was able to do produce "Do Me Baby" and other stuff on other artists. So we, you know, a few of us, it was destined for us to do what we did. But anyway, go ahead. Back to you.
Okay, Miss J, what's your second one?
Oh, my second one, don't none of y'all agree with me on, but I love the background on this. It sounds beautiful. It's a remake. It's In the Rain. I love the elements, the background, the vintage sound is beautiful. In the Rain. I think he killed that song. He made that song his own. I think that In the Rain is a beautiful song.
Yeah.
Do you like old school stuff like Delphonics and stuff like that? You like?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, because if you do, that definitely, you know, that's why that was a favorite actually, even when the record came out, because so many of the people that followed Keith, they were into the Delphonics and stuff, especially the Street Cats. They were into the Delphonics and all that in you know, all of them that did. Now, I wasn't crazy about that sound, so like I said, for me, I was like, but you picked a good one. You picked it. No, that was beautiful. You did.
Stevie, what about you? What's your second one?
I realise on some of the 3 or 4 of the tracks on the album, he's singing about some real pain on some of the tracks. Some of the, I mean, I picked Something Just Ain't Right, number 3. We didn't really discuss the lyrics, which is like, he's talking about his woman being with another man or sleeping with another man. So if you're a man thinking about that in your head, that's a lot to deal with. You know, truly, it's a lot. It's a kind of pain that is as deep as losing somebody. Does it hit that hard? Does it go? Because it's a hard thing to comprehend that your woman is sleeping with another man. Just think about that. And he kind of conveys that in Something Just Ain't Right. No, seriously, he does, Nnamdi. And in my number 2, and I debated about putting this at number 1, because this track that's at number 2 is my go-to track every time I put the album on now. It's just grown with me because I'm going to give it away. It's deep. It's a very deep track. The bass, let's get to the bass line. I was talking about a bass line earlier, another track that sounds dated. The bass line in this track does not sound dated. It sounds sonically about 20 years still ahead of everything else I'm hearing at the moment. The bass line, that boom, 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 boom. And he's talking about how deep is your love. I'm going to say ladies here. I'm going to mention these 2 words, unconditional love. Because this is how deep he's going on this track. And I'm debating now whether actually women can go that far for a man anymore. Are they willing to show unconditional love? Because, you know, as men, we're expected to be the provider, the protector. We're expected to go that far for a woman. And can a woman in this, you know, these times, this generation, can they give that back? Again, that is up for debate, you know, and that's what I felt with this track. It's a deep track. It's not made me number 1, but it's just listening to it destroys me. It does destroy me. It brings out a lot. How deep is
That's
your
a good
love?
That's a good number 2.
It's easily my number 2. It could have been my number 1, but the only thing that's stopping it from being my number 1 is that I've got a great memory to share with you. My number 1. Which I'll get to later on.
What about you, Jackie? What's your number? Your number two.
My number two is Something Just Ain't Right. That's my number two. Because I love, and Miss J, she put on a little part, and she said it kind of reminds you of that. And it doesn't remind me of that, but the way that Something Just Ain't Right comes in, and then the groove of it, it makes you want to dance. It makes you, but then even the lyrics on it, like Stevie was saying, what a man thinking like that, he's saying something just ain't right, something's up, and we singing it, something's up, it just ain't right, something's up, it's just that we sung it on the road, but Teddy did vocoder, but just the way he you can groove in the car to it. It's chilling. Track is just moving and it's killing. And then he's saying, I tossed and turned, girl. I just can't sleep at night, and it's just the lyrics, I think Keith showed his ass on that one. And, I love Something.
And was you sleeping with another man, Jackie? That's the big question.
Wait, what'd you say, Stevie?
I said, was you sleeping with another man at the time, Jackie?
You trying to insinuate things? It was not me. Not me.
Well.
Okay, so we reached the final stage. So I'm going to go from number 8 to before I read out my number 1. And so I had In the Rain at number 8. It was because it was a remake. It wasn't original. I had Tell Me It's Me You Want at number 7. Don't Stop Your Love at number 6. How Deep Is Your Love at number 5. Make It Last Forever at number 4. I Want Her at number 3, Right in a Wrong Way at number 2. And for me, my favorite song, anytime I play this, my kids look around because it's my ringtone. If you call my phone, this is what you would hear. And Toss and Turn, I Can't Sleep at Night. Ooh, you're cheating on me. Tell me it ain't a lie. Oh my goodness, the keyboards to start, and Teddy said that he had to almost join it up with me because he just to play it all the way down, and then in the middle of the song it has the solo. It just ain't right. Oh goodness, I can listen to this song over and over again. Something just ain't oh goodness. I mean, I listen to it, and as I said, it's my ringtone, and it's been my ringtone for the last 5 or 6 years. Love that song.
Wow.
I love that song.
That's my song.
It is such an amazing track, and it is my favorite track on the album. It is something that it starts off when you like, okay, this is something. I remember during lockdown, I used to see these, during lockdown, COVID, and there was a video of a man driving his son's little toy car into a McDonald's, and then I used to get those type of videos, and then I'll just play something just stay right at the end. I'm just like, oh, I'll see stuff happening, and I'll just play something just ain't right.
Oh my God!
Just during the lockdown, so that was my memories of lockdown, is just playing that song, and I just love the song. So, Something Just Ain't Right is my all-time.
Do you relate to any of the lyrics in it? Like I was discussing earlier, Nnamdi, I don't know if you.
No, not at all.
As a man, have you experienced anything in the past that you can relate to in that song?
I would say that I actually didn't realize what he was singing about. I would say that I didn't.
You like the groove, then, basically.
Yeah, it's the groove. I could.
And the flow.
Until you said
right.
it, I didn't even realize what he was singing about until I looked at the lyrics. I'm thinking, oh, he's talking about someone cheat on him. I'm just thinking something just ain't right, and it was. So I'm like, oh, what the hell happened to this guy? You know, because men aren't this vulnerable. You know, the only time Orange Juice Jones in the rain. Yeah, I mean, talking about that was one of the first times I ever saw a man talk about a girl, because women didn't cheat on men. So, you know, you don't really see that. But yeah, so I didn't realize that he was singing about somebody cheating on him. I just love the groove and something just ain't right. I had no idea what he was singing about. So I will pay a little bit more attention, but it is my favorite song on the album. It starts off amazing, and it's I love it. Yeah. So, Miss J, okay. Just before you do, so River Mandel says to Jackie that my best friend lost her mom Friday night. She loves your music. And can she get a shout out? Her name is Crystal.
Her mom's name is Crystal.
No, I think her friend.
Her best friend's mom.
Yeah, I don't know if it's but he said Crystal. Well, she loves your music. Can she get a shout out? Her name is Crystal.
Oh my gosh, Crystal! We are sending you love, Crystal, wherever you are. Wait, Crystal was the one that passed away?
No, maybe her mom.
Oh, okay. So the girl's name is Crystal. Okay. Yeah, we're sending you love, Crystal. We're sending you strength and prayers and blessings, because it's a lot. It's a lot. And, you know, this is for your mom. Make it last forever. Ooh, ooh, why? All right. Love you, boo. And y'all be blessed. You know, take care of each other.
Okay. All right. Okay. Miss J.
Well, that was beautiful.
I know when I hear about people's families, I'm like, oh.
Starting to 8. My number 8, Tell Me It's Me You Want. Number 7, Don't Stop Your Love. 6, How Deep Is Your Love? 5, Right in the Wrong Way. 4, Something Ain't Right. 3, I Want Her. Thank You for Teaching Me. I Can't Bear. I'm so excited now to sing the song. Right. 2, let's see. 2 was In the Rain. Number 1 is Make It Last Forever.
Why did you pick it at number 1?
The voice, Jackie, your voice is amazing, beautiful.
Thank you.
And why do I love strange things? Like the part of the song where it's ending, when she said, "I love you, boy." That part right there. That part did it for me. I'm gonna keep listening to this song. I mean, you sang your throat off. Okay.
Oh, thank you, love.
Amazing. Beautiful.
Thank you, Miss J. Thank you.
Number 1. and the red golden child, thank you for the love in the comments.
Oh, beautiful.
Stevie, what about you? 8 to 1.
Number 8 was Tell Me It's Me You Want, Baby. Number 7, Number 6, In the Rain. Number 5, I Want Her. Number 4, Right in the Wrong Way. Number 3, Something Just Ain't Right. Number 2, How Deep Is Your Love. Number 1, I've got a story to tell, and I've got 2 things to think about here. The first thing to think about is the word coincidence. The second thing to think about with this story is, is it meant to happen? Was it meant to happen? Because the 2 things kind of go together. Because in your life, you might say, "Oh, what a coincidence that was," and on the flip side, you might say, "Oh, it was meant to happen." So 1995, I'm in a nightclub, and if you can imagine a nightclub where all your favorite, not just your favorite songs, but it's just a night of just unbelievable R&B music. All the stuff that was coming out in 1995, all the great R&B tracks, mix it up with like some 80s soul classics, like not Shade Who Do You Love. I'm talking about the original Who Do You Love 80s soul classic, stuff like that, stuff like Kashif. Just an amazing Saturday night I used to go to every week that my friends would be DJing in. And this is where I heard my number one and seen the magical effects it had on people. 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 girls walk in the club and they both walked past me onto the dance floor. And I looked at one of the girls and I'm like, and my jaw dropped. I'm like, and I didn't, for about, she was only in there for about 45 minutes. And I just couldn't keep my eyes off. It was a real, like, New Jack Swing. I want a moment. Oh, she's mine. It's one of them. So anyway, she notices that I'm looking and she smiles back at me. And then 45 minutes later, she walks out with a mate. She says hello. She just says hello to me and walks out. And I'm just stood there dumbfounded. And she was gone. This girl was gone.
Wow.
And I spent... She didn't leave my head all week, right? She didn't leave my head all week. The week later, and this is where I'm going on about, was it meant to happen or was it coincidence? I'm in a totally different place, in a total new town, complete different DJs on a Saturday night, new club, check this out, another town, new DJs. I'm in there with my friends. Guess who walks in? Those 2 girls.
The
again.
girl.
The same girl walks in, and I'm just like, what? How is this possible? How is this possible? And I remember a friend coming over to me going, you need to go and talk to her, mate. Go and talk to her. She likes you. And that was all I needed to hear. So, and then if I'm honest with you all, about a year and a half later, my one and only daughter was born out of that situation. And what I remember about that period was my number one record, which is a magical record that will stand the test of time in the halls of R&B soul fame. And I love you so much, Jackie, for this record because vocally, you're the best thing on it. I love Keith, but vocally, you're the best thing on this record. I've got a memory and an occasion that will last forever. That will last forever for me. My number one record. And good night, folks, because I can't top that anymore.
Right. You know, we gotta get you some tissue because you got emotional. We love the story too. I'm up here emotional. I'm like, what happened?
And he didn't add that he became a granddad based on that song early this year. So
oh my gosh, that's
2 months ago. Well, a month ago, became a granddad. So there you go.
That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful.
Your baby mama.
That is so beautiful. Oh, yeah. That's beautiful.
It is.
Unfortunately, that relationship, it didn't last. It didn't. It was a long time ago. It didn't last, but I always have them memories. I've always got them memories.
But it did last forever because you've got a daughter, you've got a grandchild, so it continues to blossom from that.
That's right. That is right. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Even though we do all the wrong things, we lust and you drop the draw, and then like you said, it was meant to be. And a lot of times it might not work out, but when you get beautiful children out of it, you just it's a blessing, and it's a blessing. I ain't trying to get in trouble, Father. It's supposed to be fornicating, but it's a blessing to know that something was supposed to happen, even though it didn't last.
Was it a coincidence though, or was it meant to? I don't know. Was it?
I don't think anything is coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence.
Yeah. Hey.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't believe in coincidence because even you talking to me and me talking to you, and I sung the song that reminds you of something that's so beautiful. That's not a coincidence. That was supposed to happen. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, but Stevie, can you just imagine that we're sitting on here talking to Jackie McGee. I mean, I still remember that album, the song, but it never in my wildest dream. I think sometimes.
I know, we started with Jackie McGee talking about it 30 odd years later. Mind blowing, isn't it?
It is. It's crazy because, stuff is supposed to happen. That's what I believe. I think that, things are supposed to happen. I think my iPad is about to die and I don't want to mess up. So I'm putting it on my phone because my phone has more battery. Uh-oh.
Okay. I'm
going to turn this one off. You see me still, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I had to switch to my phone because I didn't want it to cut off. But now I can't see my countdown. Oh, damn. Because my countdown was in my phone. So I can tell you what my number 8 was, and then I can tell you what my number 1 is.
Okay.
Because I remember my number 8, and I remember my number 2. I remember my number 5, which was Make It Last Forever. My number 8 was Tell Me If It's Me You Want.
Mm-hmm.
My number 7, I think, was In the Rain. That was number 7. Yeah, In the Rain was number 7. I can't remember what my number 6 was, but number 5 was Make It Last Forever. So I'm gonna skip to number 2 because my number 2 was Something Just Ain't Right. And my number 1, here I go again. Wait, what was your number 1? No, your number 1 was Make It Last. But what was your number 2, Stevie?
How Deep Is Your Love?
That's my damn number 1 right there. That's my damn number 1. What? Come on, you put that on. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. How deep is your love? That vocoder, the bass, the everything. And like you said, also the stories. The story that Keith is telling in How Deep Is Your Love. And he's singing that. And he sung that on the road like he would get into it. And his favorite thing is tell me. Tell me. I need to know. Tell me. So that's the thing. I want to know how deep is your love. And, he goes in. So that is my number 1. And the other reason why, like I said, I loved it so much was because it was an era of, when, everything was popping bottles and money, right? Not saying it was, we're supposed to be doing that, no. But popping bottles, money flowing, whatever. But everybody had a Jeep. The Jeep Coupe, Lexus, and the Benz. To all my ladies and my men, keep your head up. And that's what was rocking. So you heard every thugged out dude was singing. That's what I loved about it. Every thugged out dude. Teddy and Keith had every thugged out dude singing them joints. Singing and playing them, blasting them in their cars. So that's my number 1. That is my number.
It's a deep record, and like I was saying earlier, as a man, when you've got your woman there and it runs through your head, why is this? Why is she with me? You're going to ask that question.
Yeah.
Is she with you because of your status, because of your money, or is she with you because she really wants to be with you? And it's keeps asking that question. How he wants to know how much you got me, and you can feel his pain in that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame you can't ask him.
Wow.
Most soul lovers can feel that record. They can feel it.
I don't know who was cheating. It wasn't me. I wasn't in it.
Oh goodness! We all had different tracks at our number 1, but it just goes to say, as I said, if I hadn't said it before, my favorite album, and it is just an amazing classic. I think they should have restricted albums to 8 songs, because when they started to get crazy in the 90s and do 15, 16 tracks,
yeah,
it was just too much. Just do 2 different albums. You wanted, But this is definitely so. For me, I would give this album a 9.5 out of 10 because it's my favorite. Stevie, what would you rate this album?
That's an easy answer, mate. That's a 10 out of 10 right there.
Okay.
Come
Miss
on.
J, what about you?
Come on, Stevie.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 10.
Okay. And Jackie, what about you? What would you give it?
I definitely give it a 10 because it changed the whole demographic of music, So I give it a 10. 10 out of 10 out of 10. Well, eight play instead of R. Kelly's 12 play. 8 play. Give it a little 8 play. Give it 8
But
play.
the thing
Uh-huh.
is, the album went triple platinum. I'm just trying to see if this was. I'm not sure if this was his biggest selling album.
I think it
Triple play. Yes, it was. It
is.
is. Okay, no.
And it actually,
His
I didn't mean to cut you off, Nnamdi. It might be 4 times platinum now because it was 3 times platinum back in like 95.
yeah.
It was certified 3 then.
So
Mhm.
the only other album that they put as 4 times platinum was his 90s Keith Sweat album, which had Twisted and Nobody.
Mhm.
But I think the Make It Last Forever album is probably still his biggest album and stuff. Yes. So
Oh, the Nobody album, it did go 4 times platinum.
yeah, that went 4
Oh,
times
okay.
platinum. Yeah.
But that was more poppy too.
Yeah. With
To be fair, that was a more poppy.
Twisted was a mega record.
Yeah.
Nobody and Twisted and stuff went more pop.
Yeah.
He was able to open up those doors with that, which was a good thing. But I'm like you, those were great albums, but I still think that this was the best, and not because I was on it. This was a great freaking record. This was a great
He had a
album.
great run of albums, Keith Sweat.
He did. He
We
really
could
did.
review them all.
He really did.
Them right up to the end of the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
Really
Yep.
good albums.
But I would say
But
that this is
essential. This is from this era. This is an essential that you should have in your collection.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's not
With that sweater, Stevie.
with the sweater, the Bill Cosby
With
sweater.
the sweater.
I mean, most people are giving it a
Right.
10. Melodic and Marco and everyone giving it a 10. Marco went 15 or 20 out of 10. It is. I would say that even though the Keith Sweat album probably sold just around the same amount, apart from Twisted and Nobody, it's none of those were classic albums. When you see Keith on tour, he's singing most of his album songs from Make It Last Forever. He does Twisted and Nobody, but the majority of the songs he sings is from Make It Last Forever. So it says how much of an impact this album has on his career as well. Okay, guys, it has been a good 2 hours. We've gone through this. It's been great having you on this episode, Jackie, because you were there. You were part of this album, not just singing the duets, but backgrounds and knowing Keith and Teddy from back in the day. I wonder if you ever thought that 30 years later, is it 30 years later or so, that would still be...
No, it's more than that.
It's more than that. It's
35?
35. It's going to be
35?
40 in 2 years' time. Did you ever think that in 40 years' time people will still be talking about this album?
Not at all. Not at all. You don't, when you do music, you want this. And we've talked about it before. People are like, because I took myself out of the business, I just left. I was just like, I don't want to be bothered anymore. But you know how people say, oh, you just a one-hit wonder, or you only got 2 records and whatever. But if that one song that you have is fire, and that ish been out for 35 plus effing years and they still playing it to this day, then you got a banger. And that was Favor. And I always say it's favor and a blessing from the Most High, especially, you know, Make It Last Forever, because Make It Last Forever was never a sexual song. It was a love song. And like Stevie was saying, you know, Keith was singing a lot of stuff from his heart. And even though, you know, I barely knew him when we did Make It Last Forever, the song still came together and made people feel, you know, love. So I'm grateful for that. I'm very grateful for that.
Well, I'm going to take my time and re-listen to How Deep Is Your Love and see if it would move on the on the chart. I will also take a different air listening to Something Just Ain't Right. As groovy as it is, I'm going to block out the fact that he's thinking that his wife is cheating on him. And I enjoy that. I enjoy for what it is. It definitely has been great. And Jackie, it's always a blessing when you take part and as the superstar that you are. We definitely love you.
Oh, thank you. You know, I'm the cousin to the show, so you know, I like coming on being the cousin. You know, I love
There
y'all.
was a time that I used to keep count as to how many times a guest comes in. So Pamela Long has probably come on 5 or 6 times, but I've lost count with you. You've probably come more than 10, so you pretty much have taken the belts.
I know. Like I got the big WWE belt
you got
on
the
for halftime chat.
So you definitely surpassed it and stuff like that. So we all thank you guys for watching. Trey Lorenz, the interview continues. He is a crazy kid talking about. If you guys, I hope you've caught some of his stuff about tonight. He's going to be talking about recording I'll Be There with Mariah and Michael Jackson's reaction to when the song came out and stuff. Yeah. So, but thank you guys. Rose Bush, thanks. Yes. The Red Golden Child, everyone, VJ's come on back in. Melodic, everyone who's come on, we always remember we can't do this show without you guys adding the feedback and adding the comments, because we read everything that you post and we try and respond as we go along. But thanks also for putting your top 8s as well, because it helps us see where we fit in and stuff like that.
An amazing attendance, for all the viewers this evening. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the people that always come in. I have one thing before we get off that I have to do for Stevie, because you know, Make It Last was his song. So I gotta do a little bit for Stevie. What part you want me to do? Let me see. Which one?
The bridge, near the bridge, near the, you know.
What, the kisses?
Yeah, do that bit.
Kissing. Wait. But I need Keith for that.
Stevie, you can take that part. Okay, Jack, just do your part.
The kisses, love me. I need Keith for that. You know, because it's
okay. No, do the part that you do your part. Do your part.
Well, do the bit you know well, and you can do then.
I'm trying to think of the verse.
That bit where it goes, let me.
Okay.
That bit where you go, let me.
Let me tell you how much I love you. Yeah, right. Let me tell you that I really need you, baby. I will make it all right. No one but you, baby. I'm cracking. Can make me feel the way you make me feel. Oh, yeah, what we saying? Oh,
wow.
I'm cracking and carrying on, but you know, if it was a real show, I had to have it right.
No, I ain't gonna be no Keith now. I know I can whine, but not to that level. Not to that level.
Jackie. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Jackie. And just finally, we do have to say that Keith Sweat is one of the most underrated songwriters, because he wrote. He's a songwriter the lyrics, and I think he doesn't get the credit that he deserves as,
Good enough.
as a songwriter and stuff like that.
He's a great songwriter. Great songwriter. Right, he writes from a lot of pain. A lot of pain. So we like it. Sorry, Keith. We like the pain. I'm sorry.
Okay, guys.
But thank you guys. Thank you guys. You know it's always my pleasure. Miss J, we love you, girl. Now you know to say I can't bear.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, cousin.
Nnamdi, right. Nnamdi, we love your singing always. And we got to figure out, what song you're singing, but we got it. And Stevie, your stories are always great. So, anytime y'all need me, let me know because I'm coming to do a countdown.
Listen,
I'm there.
New York, let's hope I meet up with you in New York at the end of June.
That's right, in New York. That's right. So you just make sure let me know. Keep me posted on what's going on with that. All right. I love you guys.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that kind of.
And somewhere in between.
For even loving us,
on which I didn't miss you.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No. Okay.
they don't understand what Jonas Boys and men and all spirits.
Play it.